What's up, guys and gals, for the latest piece of One Piece. And yes, this is being recorded before the next chapter drops, so it's still the latest piece of One Piece. Apologies how long this one took, but let's just jump right underway with it. Chapter 1140, entitled Scopper Gabon, the left hand of the Pirate King himself. And we have the cover serial. It was Ulti and page 1. Apparently we're playing darts with swords with Ulti. We're doing pin the nail on the dinosaur. I mean, I have no idea. Anyways, so that's going down right now. I imagine Yamato is going to break in relatively shortly into that cover serial. Not necessarily to save Ulti in page 1, though that will be the case. But just for the simple fact of, I can't let your villainy go on here in my country, you know, my region sort of idea. Now the big thing, Scopper Gabon. I know there's God's Night stuff to talk about, but honestly, don't really. I'm not invested in them. I'm just not. Maybe I will be when we get underway with it, but right now, I'm not fully invested. I'm invested in the lore of Scopper Gabon. I want to see, once again, how does he fare as a guy who's probably more active than Rayleigh, so at least on Old Man Rayleigh's level, if not slightly stronger. How will he handle Luffy? How will he handle Zoro at their current levels? This is one of the big representations of the old guard. So let's see it, right? So immediately, Zoro recognizes that this is my dad used to be a pirate. He can hold his own against Elbaf warriors. So he's wondering about this. Now, Luffy does what everyone said. What everyone says at the beginning. He didn't go a gear. He just tried to get the key. And nope. And then Luffy's like, listen, old man, I want to get to Loki so I can get back to the feast. I want the key. And Gabon's like, alright. Well, I told you to take it. Here, it's right here. Come on, take it. He's like, all right, then I will. And immediately he tries, he misses, and hockeyed up. Looks like Conqueror's haki to me because of them their Black Lightning. Just pointing that out once again. Will Sanji end up, is this a point of contention? It might be for a lot of Sanji fans. So I want to just talk about this part really quick. Clearly, Gabon has Conqueror's haki. I don't think anybody would be shocked by that. But in the same way that everyone was naysayers that Zoro can't have Conqueror's haki for years, even though we knew Rayleigh had Conqueror's haki, and people kept saying Zoro won't get Conqueror's haki because that's Luffy's thing. The captain, the Conquerors get it and stuff. And, you know, I don't know what people's reasoning were back then, but obviously they were fucking stupid and they were wrong. In the same regard, could we have, and with guys like Odin on Whitebeard's crew and stuff like that, like clearly we have more than one Conqueror on a pirate crew. That's fine. Ben Beckman probably has Conqueror's haki. But, here's the thing. Does this mean that Sanji's going to get it? It could not. By the end of the series, by the final battle, yeah. But before then, probably not. That's going to be my argument here at this point, is that this doesn't confirm or deny that Sanji himself, because he's his own character, will he get Conqueror's haki? I can see it, but it won't be until basically the final war, the final battles go down, right? That would be my reasoning if he ever gets it at all. I think Oda is taking sort of a different approach, because you have to remember is that Luffy has a devil fruit, one of the greatest devil fruits, supposedly, the devil fruit, plus all three forms of haki. Zoro has no devil fruit and no tech. He's just the strong guy. He's like Mihawk. He's just a swordsman. So automatically, these guys need Conqueror's haki to get up into those tiers, to stay relevant at that level. Sanji has both forms of haki, not Conqueror's, however, also has the Germa tech, has Germatech, and the Germa exoskeleton and stuff. So I do believe that, and we saw how devastatingly good that was against Queen. So as a result, I'm actually going to argue against the fact that this doesn't confirm nor deny that Sanji might get Conqueror's haki by the end of the series. But I, for one, as someone who likes Sanji as a character, would not be disappointed if he didn't. You know, it wouldn't bother me because it seems like we're going a bit of a different route for Sanji's growth and evolution at this point. He hasn't been improving his haki. He's been improving in other ways, creating new moves, not haki related. So, it's fine with me. But Zoro's whole thing is haki. Zoro's whole thing is swordsmanship and haki to stay relevant, right? To be able to fight Devil Fruit users and First Commanders and Yonko. His haki needs to be up there. And his whole growth in Wano was the revelation of Enma, a sword that was so goddamn haki hungry that he needed to use all of it, right? So, yeah, I just personally, this is just a really cool showcase of Scopper, and it, to me, doesn't help nor hinder the argument that Sanji may eventually get Conqueror's haki as well. So, that's my stance on that, because I know a lot of people are talking about that. So he immediately smacks down Luffy with a shot of Conqueror's haki, and with the key. And he just goes, oh, like, holy shit, what just happened and stuff, and Luffy just gets right back up. Obviously, he didn't go all out. He just hockeyed up a part of the key, slam, to hit the rubber body, right? And he's just like, wow, like, what the hell? And now Luffy's all pissed off. Scarper's like, well, that's a nifty straw hat you got there. It'd look better on you than that helmet, I bet. And he's like, and then so now Luffy's mad, and he's constantly trying his best to get the key. Scopper's not even trying, he's dodging everything, because obviously I would argue that Scopper's observation haki is probably better than Luffy's. Just gonna say. So he's just like, yep, no, dodge, and he's like, really? You're only holding that hat for Shanks? He didn't just give it to you? What a cheap prick. What a cheap bastard, right? And immediately Luffy gets more pissed off. Obviously, we know that Future Sight and Observation Haki is harder to utilize when you're not in the zone, when you're not focused and calm. So maybe Scopper is sort of doing this on purpose. But it doesn't seem like he's struggling at all with Luffy as he is. So maybe not. Maybe that's just something we're reading into it. But, you know, Luffy gets more mad. He's like, don't call Shanks a cheap bastard. You have no idea anything about him. Meanwhile, Scopper is like, bitch, I raised him. What the fuck are you talking about, you know? And then Slam, he just slams the key in his face. It's like the line here, I didn't read all the translations, but the line is basically like, you talk a lot, or you like to talk, boy. I think that this would have been more funny if he had said, I don't know, like, I just feel like because he said something like, you don't know Shanks, I know Shanks, and it's just, Scott could have been like, put the money where your mouth is, or just something in reference to like, oh, shut up, like, what you need is a little more iron in your diet, boom, you know, because he slams the hockeyed up key into Luffy's mouth, or this one isn't hockeyed up, that's just shading by the looks of it, but yeah, because he gets all rubbery and stuff like that, and boom, slams him down, and actually gives him the key. He slams it into him and lets him go flying, and immediately this is where this move, Yaso Takuro, just, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but it looks badass. So immediately he lets go of that, and Zoro notices the moment Scopper pulls out his double axes, and he Yasu Takuru, and just immediately so Zoro notices. This is Big Mom Kaido all over again. Kaido, dodge! And Luffy and Zoro's doing the same thing. Luffy, dodge this shit! And Luffy's just like, oh my shit. And Scopper just, boom! And these wind blades come out of his axes. And this is how we look at deforestation, ladies and gentlemen. Because, boom, boom, boom. This one attack takes down an entire... Now, this wouldn't seem as impressive if this was a regular size castle, but this is an Elbaf castle. This is the castle of Elbaf. This is one of only by the looks of this panel, 5 towers on an Elbaf size, the royal palace, and with one attack, Scopper demolished the entire thing. So he demolished a castle size, a regular person's whole giant castle. He just eliminated the entire thing. And cut the cloud, too. He completely sliced a giant cloud in half and everything. I mean, we don't know if the clouds are giant, but they look pretty giant considering the size of the castle. Like, this one attack completely just, boom. That's like a town size. Like, these castles are the size of villages or bigger, like the size of cities on human scale. And Scopper just completely destroyed an entire one with one attack. And now this is where Scopper recognizes, oh, he's got a good crew. Because we see that Zoro managed to draw his blades and block some of it and stuff like that. So now it's going to be Zoro. So Zoro immediately, he doesn't even try to, two-sword style this shit. He immediately, three-sword style. Luffy grabs an axe. He immediately goes gear 5th and he's like, all right, let's do this, Zoro. And he's like, yeah. And that's when Scopper recognizes, indeed. Now he's in all white, just like I saw before. Alright, so this is where Zoro and Luffy are about to, you're gonna get it now, and Scopper immediately like, alrighty, I give up. And they're just like, wait, what? And they're just like, stop playing games with us. He's like, don't get bent on a shave. It was just a joke. I had my fun. He's like, you can't boss this off as a joke after you tried to kill us. He's like, I had to kill you. Are you dead? And? Did you die? But did you die? And it's just like, also, I feel like Scopper's line there could have been like, I mean, I like the, and? Are you dead? So clearly everything's cool. But I almost would have liked it better if he had said something along the lines of, if I had wanted to kill you, like, and just leave it at that. Just kill you? If I had wanted to kill you, never mind. And just move on. So now Luffy and Zoro are pissed at him. And it's like, the key you're after is in your possession. Like, Scopper's actually making a good point. He did his one attack after losing the key. He already gave the key to Luffy. Luffy's got the key. He pulls out his axes, does one attack. And it's like, oh, well, technically the fight's over. We were only fighting. I told you to take the key. You got the key from me. Good for you. Like, Scopper didn't take this seriously at fucking all. He forced Zoro to draw 3 swords, Luffy into gear 5th, and he wasn't even fucking trying. The man is amazing. Scopper is absolutely amazing. And they still don't know that this is Scopper. I'm sure they'll find out after. And this is just where he just says, Rhodes tries to tell him, like, this man is actually, he's like, don't tell him anything. He goes, if Elbaf is still intact by the time you're done adventuring here, come and see me again, So, because probably that flame, he probably is the man marked by flames, the one with the information. Of course, Scopper Gammon would know where is the final road poneglyph. Of course he would know. They all know. The Roger Pirates would know where it is. Scopper and Rayleigh would know. So, obviously, Scopper could tell them where it is, and that's probably what's going to be the reveal here. Scopper is going to tell them. It's probably in Elbaf, come to think of it. But he's probably going to tell them where the final road poneglyph is after his adventuring and stuff. And they're just like, why would we ever do that? Why would we ever want to see you again? Yeah, thanks for the key, but we're never going to see you. And he's just like, yeah, sure. And now, obviously, so Scopper did meet up with Shanks, like I thought. A lot of people mentioned this, but I thought, too, that of course he's going to meet up with Shanks and this kind of idea. And he just says, what makes you think I'm going to trust this guy? Do as you will with Gammon. And so what Shanks is basically saying was he told him all about Luffy and stuff like that. And Scopper went, you think I'm going to take your word for it? I'm going to treat him good just based on your word alone? I'm going to see what he's made of and stuff. And Shanks just says, well, do what you want with him, Gammon. You do you, man. And so Scopper's just like, yeah, Shanks was right about this punk. So good on that and stuff. Now this is where the children of Elbaf notice a giant bird. Bird is the word, and it's Gunko, of course. She goes to a random spot on Elbaf, near the school, near the village. She randomly is able to make the summoning circle pretty fucking quickly. Shamrock says, yep, make it, and summons 2 God's Knights immediately, who apparently were not prepared to be summoned. So it's like it's a forced transmutation, if you will. they basically say, like, yeah, all right, give me a minute. It's like, where are we leaving from? Where's the Abyss? Which the Abyss is, of course, this form of transportation they go through. And he's just like, yeah, can we have an hour or something? And the buddy's like sitting there in his boxer shorts. He's not dressed. He's not ready. And he's just like, yeah, what happens? Like, can you give us an hour or something like that? Like, we're letting the gods starve and stuff. It's like, hello? Damn, signal's not working. What's wrong with this fucking snail? And so we meet Holy Knight Saint Summers. And then also Gunko is like looking and like blushing like hell because obviously she's seeing a man in his boxers and stuff, and she's very obviously not learned in the ways of the world, as Tyrion Lannister would say, in the ways of tits and wine, tits and wine, tits and wine. So she's like all about that. She turns away and says, Gunko, what are you doing in my house? Shamrock, what the hell are you doing here? And then obviously we have another Holy Knight Saint, Killingham, who has some type of dragon, Cedra looking zone thingy because has a giant sea dragon head thingy, or is that supposed to be like the Capricorn goat or something like that? I was born in January, so I'm a Capricorn, but like I have no idea. He's like, oh, I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late. And it's like, wait, I was half asleep. Where am I supposed to go? What's happening? Who's here? And they're like, what? We're in Elbaf. And so obviously they were force summoning. Obviously, Gunko is able to do this on Shamrock's orders. We don't know how that works exactly yet, and we don't find out this chapter. But they were summoned, so now we have 4 of the Gods Knights, 3 gods plus, of course, Shamrock here, ready to, I guess, wreak havoc on Elbaf. So I think the Straw Hats can take him. And if not, Scopper can definitely do something about this. Between Dorian Broggy and the Straw Hat crew, I'm assuming they're going to unlock Loki. I don't think the Gods Knights stand a chance. I really don't think that a Gods Knight can stand up to Gear 5th Luffy nor King of Hell Zoro at this junction. Not to say they wouldn't give them a strong fight, but the fact of the matter is that the Gods Knights are probably weaker than the Gorosei, and they were holding off the Gorosei pretty well for the most part. I'm just, I'm just saying, like, I really don't see these. Now, 4 of them, I'm not saying they won't do a lot of damage. I'm just saying that we have some pretty hard hitters here in Elbaf all on our team. I mean, if you take the Straw Hats into account, plus Dorian Broggy, plus Loki, plus Scopper, I mean, I don't know what 4 Gods Knights are supposed to do. Even if, let's argue that Shamrock is close to Shanks' level, that's really the only thing. I really don't see these other 3 being a match for Gear 5th Luffy. Because I don't think these Gods Knights could have killed Kaido. So, yeah, there's my reasoning for that one. So I don't know what these Gods Knights, that's why I'm not impressed with them yet. We'll have to see what they do, but I almost feel like there's going to be gimmicks like, oh my god, there's so much craziness happening, blah, blah, blah. But in a 1v1, do you think either one of these 2 guys could beat Zoro straight up 1v1? I don't. So, yeah, I think Jinbei can probably take one of these dudes, in a 1v1. Hard-fought victory, but still, I think Jinbei, Sanji, Robin, I think they're all at least level of Gods Knights, regular Gods Knights. Not Shamrock, maybe, but we haven't actually seen anything from Shamrock. We assume that he's as strong as Shanks, but we have 0 basis for that. 0 whatsoever. So, yeah. Either way, so they summon them to the land of the giants and stuff like that. It's like, all right, so orders from above. So we're going to steal the children's stuff. They get their drip on and things like that. And they say, all right, everything's been going wrong since Reverie and stuff like that. Your presence will be a real benefit, Shamrock. So it sounds like Shamrock has been away from Mirajoa for a while and stuff like that. So they're talking about the mission. We got to kidnap some kids, take them to the Holy Land. So it means we're not going to be able to use the Abyss pentagrams because they don't have the sign. So we're going to have to sail them back and stuff. And with your, apparently according to Shamrock, with your powers, you can make this into a game. Now, what does that mean? What is their devil fruit? We have no idea. But I really did enjoy this chapter. I thought the chapter was pretty solid. I think a lot of things going on here are pretty solid. And as I said, I'm not too invested in the Gods Knights until I actually see them in proper action. You know what I mean? When I see what they can handle, when I see what they can do, Are they Rob Lucci level? Are they first commander level? Am I supposed to believe that these God Knights are able to take on guys like Big Mom and Kaido and stuff like that? Who, you know, we can almost take on at this point? You know? That's my whole thing, right? Are these guys on the level of admirals? Are they? Oh, I need to know. I need to see what they're capable of before I give them their due respect. That's all I'm trying to say. Scopper showed us what he was capable of, and he has earned my respect. So, I mean, he had my respect anyways. He already had because he already had the feats. The feats were already told to us by being said that he was the left hand of the Pirate King, and on the level standing with, not under, but with Rayleigh and Roger. From that alone, we know it's no different than Garp. Garp got slander. I've been a One Piece fan for, man, almost 2 decades, and I can tell you, as a Garp fan, I dealt with the Garp slander for over most of that time. Most of that time I dealt with the Garp slander, and I was like, Roger himself, no one took Roger at his word. The whole Roger scene where he's like, you and I have tried to kill each other more times than I can count. Everyone said, no, Garp is the smoker. Garp's smoker. Roger got way up here, and Garp just used to chase him like Smoker, but he was no match for him and stuff like that. People actually had these agendas where Garp was not the Marine. And I defended him. I defended him for years and years and years. No one would listen. Finally, people listened. Because the feats from the mighty, the word of the people of the mighty, they get to decide what's strong and what's not. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You know what I mean? So, but we haven't heard. The only thing we know about the God's Knights is Dragon said we're going to have to deal with them. That's all we know. All they've managed to do so far is beat up a sea-stone chained giant to a tree. They've literally beaten up a chained up man. That's all they've done. They haven't actually impressed me at all. They haven't done anything yet. So when they do, and we don't have any actions, like if Akainu said each one of them could have been an admiral in their own right, that would be a statement. Or if Shanks had mentioned something, if anybody had just mentioned something of worth, then I would take that. But for right now, no. Apparently they have to put their money where their mouth is before I give them their respect. We'll see. We'll see. The designs are okay. As I said, not a huge fan of Gunko. The St. Summers guy looks interesting. Shamrock obviously got the Shanks drip with the Victorian motif, so looking pretty badass. But realistically, yeah, I can take him or leave him for now, but we're going to learn a lot more about them here in this arc, so I'm open to it. Let's see what chapter 1141 gives us. 1140 was a very good chapter. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I personally had hoped to see a little bit more from Scopper showing off, but the feats he did give us, worthy of the title. So, is what it is. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, we'll see you guys back here next time for the next piece of One Piece. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. Have a good one. Sayonara.